Hey, what's up, Otaku Mike here. Let's talk about Absolute Green Arrow issue number 1. Warning, there will be spoilers and a lot of dead people. Our story actually starts out with Jabal Slade talking to somebody on the phone, and he's like, look, nobody is going to try anything. Did you see what happened to Oliver Queen? I saw what Hammond did to Oliver Queen, and nobody wants to mess with that. I have actually spent millions ever since I got ousted from my company on bodyguards, professional bodyguards, specifically picked by Hammond himself. Nobody is gonna do anything. And without notice, an arrow goes straight through one of the guards' heads, where Slade actually ends up freaking out at this point, running out to find all of his bodyguards are all wiped out and all dead. And Slade starts to freak out, and he's like, what do you want? What do you want? I'll give you whatever you want. I'll pay you whatever you want. And we see the green arrow behind him, and all he says is, I want to make an example out of you. Our story actually transitions over to Dinah Lance. She is currently trying to protect this pop star. She has been hired as a bodyguard to protect this unnamed pop star, but it does not go so well because she ends up punching out a paparazzi, which ends up getting her suspended from her bodyguard duties. She only was doing this because to help pay the bills for her sick father who currently has cancer, and I guess it pays some of the bills, I don't know. But she ends up going to get a new job from Malcolm Merlin, where she finds out she is hired to protect Hector Hammond as well as Tyler Reese. We actually find out Dinah was actually chosen for this job because she has a big connection to Oliver Queen. She actually dated Oliver Queen 8 years prior to this, when Ollie was actually starting up his Green Arrows company. Ollie really wanted to help people, and the way he thought about helping people was actually getting them the assets they needed and creating this app called Green Arrows to trade stocks and stuff like that to help people sort of get one up on the fat cats. But alas, that relationship did not last very long because Oliver ended up cheating on Dinah. So reluctantly, Dinah actually takes this job to protect Hector Hammond and Reese Tyler, and we find out that they are actually searching Star City for Ollie's bunker, aka the Arrow Cave, and they're out and about at this moment. And unfortunately, Green Arrow actually attacks, and he goes after Hector Hammond. And he's like, why did you kill Oliver Queen? And Hector's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't kill Oliver Queen. That was all Carter Hall. I had nothing to do with that. Go attack him. And Dinah hears all this, and she starts to wonder, do I really need to protect Hector Hammond? Should I let him live? I mean, he is kind of a scumbag. Unfortunately, I guess her conscience gets the best of her. She does protect him, but Green Arrow actually cuts off Hector Hammond's hand. So after the attack from the Green Arrow, Dinah and Malcolm Merlin actually end up going back to find the Green Arrow's bunker, and they notice that this door hasn't been opened for months. Like, what could actually be in here? Just a bunch of arrows and bows and stuff like that? No, what they actually find is much worse. They end up finding a dead child. He's not decomposed, but he's actually been there for quite some time, and they find out that he actually has a bunch of eyes, like eyeballs, in his skin. And they're like, oh my god, what exactly was Oliver doing? Alright, so let's take a look at the internal artwork for this issue. Here's your creative team right here. Give them all the love and respect that they deserve because they hit this book out of the park. And man, this is a dark and gritty tone for the artwork. Mostly when it comes to like the Green Arrow stuff, like it doesn't pull its punches, showing all the gore and stuff. For that part, the panel layouts are pretty fun. I like how they played with the aspects for like the social media and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. We get some pretty cool new redesigns for Green Arrow and Dinah Lance. I like how they played with the colors to show kind of like Dinah's mood and like her dealing with her like depression and stuff. I thought that was actually a very cool way to like show like Dinah isn't doing very well mentally, but we do get some pretty cool stuff with like the flashbacks and stuff. I liked how like the colors are more washed out when it comes to like all the flashbacks and stuff. But man, the highlight of this is probably all the stuff with like what happens with the Green Arrow fights and stuff. Like they don't shy away when it comes to the violence in this particular book, when it comes to like showing like what happens with like the Green Arrow and stuff. Like his trick arrows are pretty inventive, I would say. Like they do some pretty cool stuff, especially with like the poison tips. My favorite was, let's see if I can find it. Did I miss it? Here it is. There's one where it has like a grenade attached to an arrow. Like, how does that possibly work? I don't know, but it's pretty cool to see. But yeah, super awesome artwork. You can't go wrong with this. So what exactly I think of Absolute Green Arrow issue number 1? Well, this is a fun, interesting read. I very much did not expect Dinah Lance to be the main antagonist of this miniseries. I thought that was a fun, fresh way to introduce this new Green Arrow into the Absolute universe, because we know really nothing about the original Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, which I find to be very fascinating. Like, it's more like a who is the Green Arrow? I feel like that's what this book is going to be, is who is the Green Arrow? They do a very good job of throwing out some red herrings of possible Green Arrows, but I don't really feel like that's going to be any of the Green Arrows. They showed Mia, Roy, and then some other guy. I can't remember exactly who it is. We also have Malcolm Merlin in there. He could be the Green Arrow for all we know. But I like this twist that we have going with the Green Arrow, of him being like this force of nature, trying to hunt down everybody who basically wronged and took part in Oliver Queen's murder. I find to be very fascinating. But on the other side, what kind of messed up shit was Oliver Queen actually into? Like, was he actually this good guy that he is represented in the flashbacks with Dinah? Like, did he actually want to help people? You know, like, there's so many different layers and mysteries in this first issue, and I feel like there's things that I actually missed in this. Now, I will say, one thing I did not necessarily like about this is all of the, like, business talk jargon that was going on within, like, the stuff with, like, talking about like the businesses and stuff. Once we got to those parts, I kind of honestly checked out a little bit, but I found the stuff with Dinah to be very, very fascinating, to see her, you know, deal with like the mental instability in her head, and, you know, dealing with this like some kind of mental depression in her head, dealing with the fact that she is the only sole provider for her dad who has cancer, and she has to take on this job to protect these two terrible people who are just these multi-billionaires. I mean, I feel like we all can relate in that situation, but this story flowed very well for the most part, and I'm really interested to see where this is actually going to go, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. I'm Otaku Mike. Peace out, stay safe, I'll go read some comic books.